Hey everyone, welcome back to Midnight Paint Body. In this video, we're going to be painting some raw plastic. Okay guys, so like I said in the intro there, we're going to be painting these new plastic pieces. In this case, it's a little fairing and some side panels for, I think it's a late 80s Harley Davidson FXR. If you're a Harley guy, you recognize the triangle side panels. So, first step, most important thing, dealing with new plastic. Now when this stuff is made, it's most likely made in a mold. When this plastic is made in the mold is coated with a mold release agent so that these pieces pop out of the mold after they're made. So you always need to make sure you get them super duper clean with to get rid of any mold release agent. I actually have, I guess I should have gone over this part. First step is always wash them with soap and water. I have done that. They've been kind of sitting out in the shop there for a couple of weeks, so they're just dusty. Next step, some good wax and grease remover. Now you always want to do wet cloth, dry cloth. If you're like spritzing it on with a spray bottle or something, you don't get as much stuff off as you do doing it properly with the wet cloth first, because you're actually taking off a lot of stuff with that damp cloth. I'm going to get everything nice and dry. Alright, we'll wipe down and dry. We'll go on to the next step. Alright, so next step, we're going to give everything a light scuff. In this case, I'm using a gray Scotch-Brite pad. So I'll bring this in so you guys can see. So we're scuffing the surface. I don't know how well you can see that. But see, we've got that really light sand in there, sand scratch. That's going to give the primer something to bite into. I mean, obviously you don't want to paint right over that shiny stuff or it's going to peel off. You need a tooth for that adhesion. You don't want to use anything too coarse. If you were to use, say, a red Scotch-Brite pad, which is the coarse one, you'd really be pulling a lot of stuff out of that plastic and putting way too deep of a scratch in it. Okay, parts are all sanded. Now we're going to repeat this process. Wash everything down one more time. When you're handling this stuff, during sanding, washing, everything, you want to wear some gloves. Like for one thing, obviously you don't want all this chemicals absorbing into your skin, but the main reason is you don't want all the oils and crap off of your hands on the panel. You don't want to go eating pepperoni pizza and a bag of Doritos and then touching these panels before you paint them. Or You have big greasy fingerprints where the paint isn't going to stick. Okay, so next step, we're going to be putting on a little plastic adhesion promoter. So you have to have some plastic primer on that raw plastic. If you paint right over that, that paint's going to just come off in sheets. So I'm just putting a little in my my little touch-up gun there, and we'll go in and give her a coat. Okay, so last step before the plastic primer, I'm gonna wipe everything down with a tack cloth. That's just gonna take off any last little bits of dust or lint. Obviously with paint work, you want everything to be as clean as you can possibly get it. In my case, I paint in a homemade paint booth, so it's not the best environment, but it works for me and make my living in here, so. Alright, we're just going to let that set up for about 10 minutes and we will come in for the next step. So our next step is going to be a coat of urethane sealer. So while we're waiting for that plastic adhesion promoter to set up, we will get our sealer ready. Alright, so our adhesion promoter is nice and dry. So now we're just going to do a coat of urethane sealer over top of that. Alright, so there's the sealer on, so now another 10-15 minutes and we're ready to start with some paint. Okay, so sealer is all set up on those parts in the paint booth. So we're going to get some paint ready. So this is just base coat. This is the part we're matching up. I had the customer bring me the front fender off the bike, so I had something to match a paint color to. Harley stuff can be a real pain. You can't really get paint codes from anywhere. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Or nothing that matches up with anything. So the base coat's just a 1-to-1. 1 part paint, 1 part reducer.
So that's the first coat of base on there. So I'm going to let that set. It'll get 2 more, so 3 coats of base coat total. And then we'll come back in for another look in a bit.
It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate, go your own way, I won't wait.
Bring the funk back.
All right, what you guys just watched me do there, I just decided to put that 2-tone stripe on the fairing to kind of match up with the original panes on the bike. So you saw me use some old pinstripe tape for masking. An old painter trick, it gives you that, give you the correct gap for the stripe. Back in a few minutes and put some clear on this. All right, we're ready to mix up some clear coat for those parts. Stuff I use is this PBG shop line European clear coat. It's pretty easy, it's just a 2-to-1.
So there's 2 coats of clear on there. I think we're gonna let her sit for an hour or so, and then we'll come back in for one last look.
Alright, so there's the finished up parts. Well, they turned out pretty good. So here's the factory fender that we're matching up. You can see it's a decent match. So I was able to put the stripe on that little fairing piece, so it's gonna look kind of factory on there. So I didn't put the stripes on the side covers. I just figured it'd be kind of too tight trying to pull corners in there, but I believe the customer should be happy with that. And hopefully that will give someone some insight into kind of the steps that are necessary when painting raw plastic parts. And just with some kind of paint work in general. And as always, I just kind of hope that maybe helps somebody out with their projects. And I hope you enjoyed the video. So, stay tuned for more auto body videos, paint videos, you know, kind of, yeah, you never know what comes through the door or what I'm going to make a video out of. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. And I do hope to see you guys on the next one.